Jesus, I want to thank you. You feel comfortable. Be as comfortable as you need to be. I want to thank you for taking the time to do this podcast with me. I really do. I met you through Dan Smith when you were the president of Fox. And I liked you from the moment I met you. I mean, because you have a good personality, the way that you're very, I'm going to say, soft. But you're actually on a hatchet man. You came into... You come in to clean up. When things are messy, you come in and clean. They pay you the big bucks. So tell me, where were you born?
Wow, born in Toledo. Toledo is the former kind of capital of Castilla, the inception of the Spanish country.
Okay.
It's a small city close to Madrid.
Right.
And I was born there, and I lived until I left to the university in Madrid.
Do you have siblings?
Yeah, I have two sisters, older sisters than me. They live in Toledo.
How many years older are they than you?
Oh, they are 6 years older than me and 2.5.
2.5. Are you close with your sisters?
Wow, very much. We speak every week.
Oh, do you really?
And we have business together.
Because you're their little brother, their only little brother.
Yes, I'm the young and the boy. I was the kind of the weakness of my mother.
What about your mother and father? How are they doing?
Oh, my parents are entrepreneurs. My father is now 92, and my mother just passed away this summer.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
A small accident, but she was in very good shape. Both working together all life, and they retire when my father turned 80 and my mother 78, and they stopped the business.
Right.
The business that they have it, but they continue with a small hobby, the land they have in Toledo.
But do you have vineyards, don't you?
Look, my father has always a dream. It's like hunting. And he always wanted to buy a piece of land. He bought something, he would like it a lot. And really poor, because Toledo is dry. It's really high in the plateau.
Okay.
So it's like 700 meters above the sea level, very dry. And cold in winter and hot in summer, doing crop, but was not really making anything. So we discussed, look, why don't we do something really nice here? And we start planting trees. We started in the mountain. It's a kind of a mountain, 1,000 meters above the sea level, and the plateau. And we started putting acorn trees and pine trees. And then after we started with almonds, and my father was saying, no, it was like 82 or 83. So yeah, Chucha is my nickname. I am putting this year with 500 trees, and then next year, this year we'll put 1,000. So now it turned out to having like 9,000 trees.
9,000
Yep.
trees.
What they call it is ecologic in Spain, which is organic, certified after 5 years, and it's something that my brother-in-law, my sisters, and myself went there, even my daughters. We spend nice time there.
Now, what type of trees are these?
Almond trees.
They're all almond trees.
Yeah, with the almond
so
organic.
is he harvesting the almonds as well?
Yeah, we harvest once a year, completely ecological, and we don't water it, nothing. It's a beautiful land. I will show you some videos.
You showed me, but you showed me the land when you first got it. We talked, the one time we talked before,
maybe.
And you showed me how, you showed me the whole layout and everything. It was really nice.
It's beautiful.
All right. So tell me about your childhood when you were growing up. Now, you had two older sisters, and they protected you against everybody.
Was a good life living in Toledo, small city. Everybody were friends there. Was like a very good family. So I studied in a very disciplined school at the time, and I had a very beautiful childhood, doing a lot of sports. With not a lot of resources at the time. Spain was not developed in this kind of sense, talking about the late 60s and the beginning of the 70s. And then I moved to Madrid to study, in principle, aeronautical engineering. So I spent 3 years was not my thing.
Okay.
And then I changed to study because it's very difficult in Spain.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't do it, and I changed into business administration.
Mm-hmm. What did your father do? Did he go to college?
My father was not really upper graduated.
Mm-hmm.
They are sons of the Civil War, Spanish
Okay.
Civil War.
Okay.
So they really survived after the war, starting from zero. They lost everything,
I see.
and that's started from the scratch.
I see. When did English come into your life? Did you
English?
How old were you when you started speaking English?
Look, in Spain, in my school, was only the second language was French.
Okay.
So I only study French.
So you speak French?
I speak French.
French, Spanish?
And English I learned, actually I started working for Bandai, Japanese company, Bandai Europe. And the headquarters was in France, and we were in Madrid, in Spain. And I started talking in English somehow. So French, and then speaking over the phone. I spent a month in the UK in summer to learn a little bit, and I learned by listening and practicing.
Really?
Yeah.
But at what age were you?
28.
So you didn't speak English before that?
A word.
Not a word?
No. And now I speak badly, but I can communicate.
But you could understand some of it.
Yeah. At the time, it was even difficult for me to understand people,
difficult.
so it was a hard thing. But it's good for your brain.
That's right, to listen.
Yeah.
At 28?
Yeah, I started with 28.
So
It's never late.
It's never too late, especially if you
trying to learn Japanese, by the way.
Right. Are you learning Japanese as well now?
The same way in the
same
streets.
way.
Yeah.
Listening to it,
Listening and
repeating what you hear.
practicing is about muscle memory
Wow.
in construction.
So what were your interests as a kid? What were your interests in sports-wise? What did you like?
The sport at the time was only football,
Okay.
but I played handball. And then when I went to the university, I discovered rugby, which was one of the best things happened in my life.
How so?
Look, it's the most amazing sport I ever done. And all my friends, I spent like 10 years at the university and master degrees in Madrid. I don't regret one single month of it. And I've met a lot of people. All of my best friends are friends we play rugby together. And we continue meeting every year or every 5 years, and it's the same.
But you're not that big. I mean, come on, most rugby guys have...
Yeah, I was small.
Their necks are as big as our waist.
Yeah, I was bigger at the time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I had 2 hernias on my neck and my back, and I was forced to reduce all my muscles at the time.
Because from playing rugby?
Yeah.
Putting your head up, so
what a
big
small
guys.
accident, yes.
2 hernias in your neck and
one in
your
my
back.
neck and one in the
One in
back.
your back. My goodness.
The back I think was later, but the one in the neck was at the time.
So when did you play rugby? From when to when? What ages?
18 years old till 25 years old, something like that.
So you
Very
did it,
a small segment.
so you only did it in Spanish and French because you couldn't speak any English.
No.
And there's not too many English people. I mean, Americans that play rugby anyway.
Yeah. Look,
or-
by the
or
way,
English.
playing at I was playing for my Colegio Mayor, which is kind of a dorm. The organization in Spain is different than you are used in other countries. And then I played for the kind of a national team at the time. And when the All Blacks came in the tour, I think was 84, 86, don't remember which one.
Okay.
I had the luxury to train with them. So they came, the Maoris, was Fitzpatrick, Zinsenbroek, Melbrook, the brother. And
how old were you then? How old were you? In your 20s?
I was in my early 20s.
Early 20s.
And at that time they were professionals.
And you trained with
Massive
them. I'm
guys.
saying, I know. And you trained with them. What did you do?
Yeah,
What
nothing.
did you do?
We spent a couple of mornings when they came to the tour because we are very good guys. They want to promote the
Yeah,
rugby.
of course they did.
Really lovely guys.
I remember when rugby was played, just pickup games. People went around the world just playing. They'd get with a group and play, no money. Because I remember that in the late 70s, early 80s, because I used to travel with him just to see him. One of my business partners was a rugby player. Right. And he said, one day they're trying to make this like U.S. football. It's bigger.
Yeah,
it's bigger now. And I saw it the first time when they had the rugby games here.
Yeah.
I loved it. It was just fantastic.
It's amazing. So dynamic.
Fair. And fair too. No nonsense. Just everyone gets up.
The rules are put by the players on the ground.
That's right.
Yeah, and very much respect to the referee.
That is really
It's completely opposite to football.
They're
The way we
completely
see it,
different,
the way we
yes.
see it.
the way you see, the way most people see it. It's really
Yes.
different. That's something. So that's one sport you really
Yeah.
have a strong affection for now. You're not doing.
And then golf. I love it, golf.
You're golfing now too,
Hmm.
even with the hernia.
The hernia is not a problem. I have problem with my hips. I have a big arthrosis
Okay.
because of the sport at the time.
Right. Right.
And I have some limitations, but I still play.
You
I
still
love
play?
it.
You play all.
Yeah.
Is that right? Okay. So outside of that, then academically, what were you involved in? You said you wanted to get into aeronautics.
Yes.
So you must have been really fond of math
Yeah.
and sciences.
It's very intense math, math and physics, and design at the time, the first year. But I spent 3 years. But it's a bit of a frustration because it's always difficult to say, look, I cannot cope with it. But I think I found my way. I
How did
jumped
you find your way?
into a business administration because my father, my family is a businessman, so we always look at the how to do the economics and everything. And at that time, you basically you don't know what to do with your life. So I started studying this one. My parents always pushing us to study as much as we can, and I did it very well, very fast, very good grades, because I was coming with a good foundations in mathematics. And then I finished. I did a master's degree in the Escuela de Organización Industrial. It's kind of industrial Ministry of Spain. Subordinate entity. Very good colleagues.
And from there, when you got out of college, what was your first job with Bandai?
And then I started working for Bandai.
Right out of college?
Yes, I do a kind of a part-time, kind of an intern when I was doing the master's degree, and I had a fantastic boss there, was my master, I always say that. And they put me basically doing the things that nobody wants to do at the beginning. My foundation was in finance, but I started quickly to do things in marketing because the company was a marketing-driven company. I learned a lot, and having good bosses is the best school to have.
How long were you with them?
7 years.
7 years.
7 years. Yep, 7 years was my first time coming to Japan. I fell in love with the country. I think it was back in 1993, not speaking English, not speaking Japanese.
Were you married then?
No,
You
was
weren't married,
still. Oh wow, yeah, married 1993. Yes, I was married just recently.
You just got married and you brought your wife here too?
No. I came just.
Just for a
on
business trip?
business trips. I started to come here, spending 2, 3, 4, 5 days at the toy fair and business meetings, and even some market research. And back to Spain, very much related to the to media, because we were doing character merchandising, and basically most of the marketing is bringing the Japanese anime shows to put it in the Spanish and Latin American television stations to promote the toys and selling the toys after.
Okay.
That's the model. It's a beautiful model. Yeah.
So then from Bandai, what happened? Where did you go from there?
With Bandai, I spent 7 years. I met very interesting people, learned a lot. We developed, distribute Japanese toys, created our own toys ourselves. Between New York, created California and China manufacturing, and of course Spain and Latin America distribution there. So I learned a lot. I have the luxury to meet the group of people in Saban, and Inon Kreis was my counterpart in Saban Entertainment. Saban Entertainment was the company managing the Power Rangers franchise worldwide, and Bandai was the master toy license. So I met them. Somehow we like each other, and when Inon and Jaime started to do the business of Fox Kids, in Europe,
yes.
Was an association between News Corporation and Heinz Saban, and they called me and say, "Look, we want you to do our television channel in Spain."
That was Fox.
It was Fox Kids. So I started with Fox Kids. No idea of television other than finding the shows.
No, when was this? From Bandai, you went to Fox Kids.
Fox Kids.
Okay.
Yeah. And I was all the understanding of the toy industry, all the character, all the series. For me, it was easy to buy the best content, package it very well in marketing.
But what was your position when you came there?
General manager.
General manager?
33 years old. They gave me the position of GM for the television business, in joint venture with Soje Cable, which is the major paid television group, was part of the Canal Plus group at the time. Amazing. I learned a lot. I learned television operations in 6 months because we have to launch the channel in basically 3 or 4 months. I have very good consultants.
Well, then you obviously had some really good people behind you in the company in Bandai, first of all.
That's the secret.
For them to make sure, because they do their due diligence. And they said, this guy is really doing well in Bandai. Let's see if we can get him.
Yeah.
And they got you over there. So then how long did you stay with Fox Kids?
7 years again.
7 years?
Yes.
Is that when you went with Fox Kids when you came? Was this?
No. It was
okay.
Then after Fox. So I spent Fox Kids doing the television business only, I remember, 4 years. Started ramping up. And then after Fox Kids evolved to a much more multimedia company. So we entered into the magazine business of printing, and internet at the time was at the bubble times of the internet. So I have the chance to develop the whole 360 development of the Fox Kids brand in Spain. I like it. So I have a fantastic general manager, succeeded me on the television. We were marketing directors in competitive toy companies.
Before?
Yeah, so when I was about to leave, say, look, I don't want a traditional television executive. I want somebody with much more merchandising and strong marketing foundations, not in television. So I talked to him, and he came. Actually, Carlos, a fantastic guy. Has been working with him a lot. I can tell you.
He's from Spain as well.
He's a Spanish guy from the Basque Country.
Yes.
Lovely guy. He's a good friend.
Okay.
And he's also investing with me in companies as well.
All right. Is he still there?
He left Fox after Fox being acquired by Disney last year and a half ago. He was my general manager in the Central Eastern Europe North part. He was managing Poland, Russia, and then after we gave him all the Eastern European. He was my guy in that region. Very good. Having people of your confidence and really good people is the most important
thing of anything else.
And a good friend.
That's
Actually,
really good. And it's even better when they're good friends.
Mutual confidence and respect.
Very good. That's very good.
That's good. So after Fox Kids, actually, Haim Saban and Rupert Murdoch sold the company to Disney at the time. So Fox Kids was sold to Disney. So that was the first interaction of Fox with Disney. And they dismantled the brand and everything. So Fox General Entertainment had a small office in Rome on the back of the satellite business Rupert Murdoch has there, Sky Italia. And they were starting forming ideas, developing a lot of channels in Italy. And they said, look, they had a small channel in Spain doing so. And they called me and say, it was another colleague, another guy coming from the surrounding of Heinz Saban was the managing director, the chief operating officer in Italy. So, Jesus, we have a problem in Spain. I want you to come here to help us. So you want to come because we want to dismantle it. We want to shut down Spain and moving everything to Rome and operate from Rome. All the European countries only had Spain at the time. So look, I said, Emiliano, at what time says, look, I've done it already one time, so I like the challenge. Let's do this one. I will come along with you, but I only want to be like 18 months, because when I was in Fox Kids, I was only in charge of Spain. And I was missing the international business. In Bandai, I was traveling to Latin America. We opened Mexico, Brazil with my boss, Colombia, Venezuela, Argentina, all of them. And I was missing it. After 7 years, I said, look, I feel the need of doing international business. So Emiliano, I will come and help you, but let's discuss 18 months. In 18 months, if I do it wrongly, I do this pass, we'll terminate, and I'll find something else. I didn't want to do more television at the time. And then I wanted to do something new. And then, but if I do it well, you know what? I want to do international business for you. And say, okay, let's start like that. So I fixed the company. We never shut down Spain. From 32 employees, I make a small shrink to 20 very good people. Was transforming the company. So we came and did a complete revamp. At that time, we invested big time in television series drama. Was not the hype at the time. Was only movies and realities, and was good to come with a different angle. So we completely redo the company. We put it together in #1 position in ratings in Spain in the paid television market. And since there, they told me, well, look, you've done it, so let's start doing more things. So I started opening first Portugal, because it's a natural thing to enter in Portugal. And then I started doing what my boss, my second really good boss, Australian, David Haslin, then, says, look, Jesus, we're going to be taking the territories nobody wants to go. It was starting in Bulgaria, Turkey, Poland, opening all of the countries very quickly with different formulations, sometimes partnering with small advertising companies to enter the market, as in Turkey. Then in Bulgaria, I did it on the back of the Rupert Murdoch free-to-air television business. So they did a free-to-air, and we started doing the paid television.
But he was
channels.
already there?
Came like 1 year before.
Oh, before, okay. So you did it on the back of that.
With a free broadcasting license to do BTV at the time.
Right.
And then expanding all the European. So after that, they gave me the UK and the Scandinavian market and Africa. So basically, we turned around the business from 22 people to 1,086 people when I left.
Wow.
A beautiful organization, completely decentralized. I've always been experimenting with, and it's something I continue doing. What was one of the reasons to be attracted to come to Japan is to look the organizational ways. It's difficult to manage people. It's the most difficult thing in organizations, and I have a kind of an idea that's always running in my head to do a small companies all connected at a time. So when I came, they had a small headquarters in the UK. When they gave me the UK for the National Geographic brand, amazing brand. I've been probably the brand I've most liked in my life to work with, and for the television channels. So I dismantled the UK, and I put a very interesting group of giving responsibilities to the local operations. So every country was the success of finding the right people from the country.
Okay.
Local people all the time. And I built a kind of support team in areas of expertise that were sitting in different places in Europe. So the best people in each organization was selected to give the support to the rest of the European operations. So legal, who was my right hand in Italy, a lovely woman. Finance was next to me, a Spanish guy. So with those two guys, we built basically all the operations in Europe, a good finance and good legal.
Yes.
And then programming acquisitions was in the UK. A business of digital development was another Spaniard there. The chief operating officer was a marketing director, was in Italy. So all of this, and I moved from Madrid to Amsterdam because Spain and Portugal was completely developed, and the same as the Southern Europe. And I decided to go to do something with much more scale in the Northern European countries. And my wife says at the time, I said, look, I love Copenhagen or Amsterdam. Copenhagen because it's a lovely city, and I was kind of starting thinking in Scandinavia, all those small countries, I like it. Yeah. And then we decided to stay in Amsterdam. Very good decision. It's the best connected city in the world.
It was up to you anyway as to where you stayed.
Yeah, my boss told me, you do it, Jesus, so you go and do it. So I moved my operations to...
And you do that so that you move there thinking, okay, I still need to be connected to all these different locations.
Yeah.
So I need to go to a place that is centralized for me, but it has all of the infrastructure I need.
Yeah, that was a secondary thing.
That's secondary. What was the first one?
Spain was completely independent at the time. Had a good general manager. I was sitting in Spain by doing the European business.
Right.
I discovered I could be anywhere, so I was traveling a lot. But as this kind of Northern European was proven difficult, so I said, I will move myself there and try to bring businesses on the ground. So we started in Amsterdam, and we did something really big at the time. I like it a lot. So we took a very small operation of National Geographic, and we launched the first food channel, 15 million subscribers in a year and a half, 1,000 hours of own production, 24 kitchen. Was the first channel launch in free-to-air in the Netherlands at that time in the last 5 or 10 years. And we did something really unique. We entered into partnership with the National League of the Netherlands in a unique agreement where Fox entered into partnership with them to exploit all the rights. So basically, the Dutch league was the only one direct to consumer at the time. So actually, the Dutch league organized themselves to sell subscriptions to all the paid television operators directly themselves. Okay. So we took into that company to expand it, and after to replicate that in all the minor leagues of football in Europe. Okay. We couldn't do it at the time. I left before this happened, but we actually got into the company management for more than 5 years, because it's only permitted 5 years term for rights, for big football rights.
What happens after that 5 years? You can't.
You have to go and they put another auction, so the prices continue going up.
Oh, that's so that's the reason why.
Exactly. So we enter in this kind of partnership to create a very sustainable business. And my idea was to do a sustainable business with the football rights. Because one of the problems with the rights in entertainment is always very volatile. Actually, you buy and then after suddenly 5 years or 3 years after you lose it, and it's not sustainable. Right. Sometimes you have very good cycles, or you are completely lost. Right. And secondary leagues suffer a lot. Right. So that was the idea. I'm always thinking in two directions. One is making organizations that are self-sustained, and in kind of a possible, kind of in a startup mode, which is dynamic all the time, attracting good talent, and not bureaucracy and politics. And the other one is to find economic businesses that are sustainable. Right. And this is when you create a kind of an economic ecosystem, everybody has their fair portion. I'm continue doing that one. Everything that I do is going in that direction.
Okay. So YouTube would be that. YouTube would be the ideal in one way, where everyone has access to it. YouTube.
Yeah, YouTube, the products.
Because you showed me some of the things you were working on before that had to do with children.
Yep.
And
I created the first OTT for preschool target group in Japan. Too early at the time.
Too early.
I did it 5 years ago when nobody was understanding this, and I financed it with my own pockets. And
that was the first what?
OTT. OTT is over the top.
Over the top
platform, which is the most known over the top platform in the world is Netflix.
Gotcha.
So Netflix, you can connect to a service that is not connected to any particular cable or satellite operator. So you now, with the magic of internet, you can connect.
Boom, and you're in
anytime with your internet connection. So I created that one with beautiful content for Japanese kids, basically from Europe, Spain majority, dubbed into Japanese, but for the kids to learn English and Spanish. So I gave over 500 hours to the kids to watch content in different languages. Because normally Japan animation is really good, but it's always kind of one of a kind. And it's good to give the kids ways to think in a different way and to have a window to the rest of the world, which I think is very important for the Japanese society. This is what I did. I enjoyed it a lot. I learned a lot of that business, direct to consumer, what they call it in this business. But it was not a good success. I had to stop it. Okay. Sometimes you make mistakes.
So what are you doing now? Well, tell me, wait, you haven't finished because you got to the part, your favorite program. So right after that, that's when you came to Fox again?
I spent Fox 10 years building the international businesses of Fox in Europe as president of Fox International Channels Europe at the time. And then I finished my contract, and I always wanted to come to Asia. Because Europe, I opened all the countries except Slovakia. And Slovakia was the only country I didn't open.
No.
All the rest were with operations and distribution. So I wanted to come to Asia, somehow to replicate and to continue learning. Asia is not the same as Europe. So I was coming quite regularly. So I met my colleague, Zubin, a lovely guy. And first to introduce my 24 kitchen product and to spot other ideas to share here in Asia. And when I left the corporation, Zubin called me and said, look, Jesus, I have a small problem in Japan. So would you want to come and help me for, let's say, 6 months? I said, lovely. So always love Japan, so this is a very good opportunity. But in principle, my idea is to move to Hong Kong. Mm-hmm. I love it, the city. So I came here, I spent initially 6 months looking for a general manager. Never came. It was a kind of a transition time in the company. But we did a complete turnaround in the Fox Sports operation they had at the time. We unwind the joint venture with SoftBank. Was not a right model of business. Mm-hmm. So we managed to end very good this kind of operation and stop bleeding losses at the time. Mm-hmm. So was very good. I kept more than 6 months, 1 year complete.
That's right.
And when I finished, I say, what should I do? I've been working like an animal for corporations and I always say I've been an entrepreneur, because when they gave me all of these opportunities in Fox, even in Bandai, my boss gave me the freedom to develop my own toys and everything. So I said, look, I have to do something different. When you work in the corporation at that kind of rhythm and level, you somehow burn out a little bit. So you have not a lot of time for yourself. Mm. In a position of leadership, it's the most demanding one, and it's unfair. It's bad for the families, it's bad for yourself, because basically you have to devote all of your time to helping the people that are around you, solving their problems and listening to them, and you get all the problems on your shoulders. You need a lot of help in that case. So this is something, an alarm for the people. Say they are in very good positions, but those guys are really, it's a demanding position. Mm-hmm. So I said, look, Japan is a perfect place to disconnect from this world. I've done before, and I want to start doing new things. So I invested in media technology companies, selectively, in companies where I follow a protocol. I invest in companies where I initially like the products, and I can contribute. Not only, I'm not a financial investor, but I want to contribute with my expertise, my time, or whatever thing the partners think I do, and invested in 2 Spanish companies, very nice guys. One is doing very well. And from there, I have the opportunity to create businesses around. So I'm always creating new business ideas. Mm-hmm. A part of that is basically investing time and having no income. I found, and I wanted also to project all the mistakes I have done in my professional career in my life to help people not to do it. So I became a kind of a business advisor to chief operating officers in media business. So I found a group, a family media group, the only independent left. Until a couple of months ago, we sold the company to the Canal Group.
Where are they? Here in Japan?
There is a Turkish capital, Turkish American capital company. Okay. It's an amazing corporation run by Lonnie and his nephew, Berg. So I have been doing business mentoring to Berg basically in the last 2 to 3 years. I love it a lot. Mm-hmm. I like the people. We are useful. I'm useful for them, I guess, and I'm learning a lot as well as I'm doing these things and keep me connected with the industry. So I'm sitting on the board of directors of the technology companies and this media company as well. Mm-hmm. It's a listed company in Poland. And this is what I am spending most of my time
right now
and enjoying life.
Yes,
I understand the sense of managing the time in Japan. I love it. Right. I'm learning a lot at a personal level.
You still have your motorcycle?
Of course.
Have you traveled? Have you been able to take any trips?
I've been doing trips as long as I can travel there.
I have COVID stopped everything, basically.
Yeah, it stopped.
Stopped me too.
Yeah. Respectful with.
Because we're supposed to be going riding together.
Yes, we have to go.
You haven't done Hokkaido yet.
No. This is too long for me. Maybe.
That's too far for you.
Yeah, you're brave. I know you've been there once or twice.
Yeah. I was wondering. So how long are your trips? Like a day or 2 days?
Normally, do hours.
Okay, then I'll take you to Sado Island.
Oh wow, Sado.
Yes, you'll love it. And you can do that. Boom, that quick. But you take the ferry across over to it. And when you ride there, it's just beautiful. A nice hotel.
I have to find the time to do it.
You're like that.
I'm busy now these days, but I have to
So
find
what
time.
do you see for the future, though? What do you see for your future? Because you're so...
Look, future, I never think of future.
I can't do podcasts with... Because you're in the future right now, right?
I move with the wind. I like it. I have a basic idea, but I find a very good way of living. I love what I'm doing. I continue creating businesses. I'm now 100%, not 100%, it's taking most of my energy, a beautiful new business put together with a partner in Australia.
You want to talk about it?
Anytime.
Okay. That's nice.
But I like the motorbike, don't forget about it. We have to go.
We have to do that, that's for sure. Yeah. Your wife, she's backing you all the way.
Look, my wife is an amazing woman. She had a fantastic professional career. When I said, family, I think we have to go to Amsterdam to live there. Was 2010. Was a business decision, but also a family and personal decision as well. Mm-hmm. Things in Europe were getting really complicated in Spain at the time, economically speaking, politically, and I would say was not very well run at the time. So we moved there and have 3 daughters. Mm-hmm. It was a fantastic time for them to become some kind of more international people. Mm. They were traveling summer camps to the US, having basic notions of English. But one thing is learning languages, and the other one is being a truly international person.
That's true.
Completely different things.
Completely different, that's right.
So we moved to Amsterdam, and my my sister, my daughters always appreciate. Say, thank you, Daddy. It was very difficult for us, but was a big change in us.
Because you have to say, what's your first daughter? You told me on the way up here. What's your first daughter doing now?
Yeah, Maria is an architect, graduated in London University. Marta is a Boston University graduated. Now living in Spain and working for one of our technology companies.
One that you own?
Yes, I have a majority stake in the company.
So you own it?
An independent. No, own it.
Okay.
I have a check of shares. And Monica is the last one. She was living with us in Amsterdam. We lived like almost 5 years in Amsterdam altogether. So Maria went to London after year 4. And Marta left. When we left Amsterdam, Marta went to Boston. And Monica came with us as the only single daughter living with us. She loved Japan. Traveling every day to Yokohama.
Did you put it there? Oh, you took it to the YS? You had it at YS?
Yeah, Yokohama
That's
International School. They were in ISA, International School of Amsterdam, and then
YS.
Very good education for the girls.
Yes.
Very good foundations in the Spanish school system. Mm-hmm. Very good until they were 7 to 12 years old, I think was the range. And then they came to the international. And then the opportunity to go and travel other universities and becoming international students. They are very Spanish.
And would you say your youngest goes? What's she working now?
Monica is graphic designer and marketing digital. Okay. Graduated in Northeastern University and works for a company. She finished and started working straight. I was very lucky and happy.
Yeah. Like they say,
I will see them all in Christmas in Spain.
Yeah. Yeah, like father, like daughter.
They're better. Women are more intelligent than men.
That's for sure.
More mature.
That's for sure.
And more balanced than us.
Yeah. Well, it's really helped to form you. You came from 2 older sisters. Mom,
yes. Always, yes.
Then you had 3 daughters of your own. So you always kept yourself surrounded by strong women.
Yeah, well, I've been lucky.
That's beautiful, haven't you?
Very good friends. A very strong father, but very good too.
That's beautiful.
Lovely one.
Well, look, is there anything you like to end with?
Whatever I have been, I didn't know this was kind of a podcast the way you organize it. Yeah. It's like chatting with you at the bar.
Right, that's how it should be, yeah.
Thank you very much for inviting me. I think it's not that important. I didn't tell you about my new business, but I have to tell you.
You should tell me. Tell me that.
I have to tell you.
Just tell me.
with the technology company that we have in Spain, by the way, I think I sold you my technology for this kind of stuff.
Right. Well,
I'm always selling,
I'm ready.
by the way, be careful. We have a remote production software that you install intelligent cameras in a place, and then you connect it through the internet, and you can remotely doing the production as a kind of professional production. So I said, look, I love it, this one. I came to the company to help them to go more international and to be more media. It was a pure technology company. And this product has been the development for more than 5 years. Now has been invested by the European Union, big funds, because we came from the remote production to the artificial intelligence moved. So we are now producing full leagues of sports in Spain using the technology with no people. Basically, the cameras follow all the game, they learn. It's a big investment. And we have fantastic people at CTO, great, brilliant people. Yeah. So with this one, I say, look, I like technology, but technology is kind of a commodity at the end. I want to be in media. So with this kind of technology, what we can do to really capture and to create content that we own. Start with comedy. Comedy is something we'll do at one point. But I said, look, music and music clubs, jazz clubs. So I talked to different people. I found my partner, Dan, is an Australian guy. He's an expert in music, television, and radio. I told him the idea and said, Jesus, I love it. Let's go for it. So we founded a company. We have Aqui Media Japan, and we have Aqui Media Australia. And we develop a company that is basically is the Netflix of jazz, live music. We have a group of iconic 10 clubs all over the world, Australia, Japan. In Europe we have Madrid, London, and we are in discussions in Berlin, is the only one we are missing. We have Austin in Texas, and we have New York, and we have 3 more clubs to complete the portfolio. Imagine them. What is the magic? We have Australia, Japan, which is Far East. We have Europe, and we have America, soon Latin America as well. And we connect all of those clubs. We make the best selection of those with all the jazz influences. Flamenco jazz out of Spain, Latino from Spain and Latin America, the big Japanese influences of fantastic masters we have here, and also the curiosity of the people sitting in Japan watching the club in Australia or the club in Madrid, not only the influences. So we connect them in a new OTT, which is developed by our technology company in Spain, which is giving you the full experience of the club with over 200 to 300 live shows per year from home. Wow. And this is what we've done. It's already funded completely. We have a venture capital coming along with us, and we are launching in January.
In January?
Yep.
Next
Beautiful.
month.
11 people working already. And wow. Australia, Japan, Spain, Boston. Two of my daughters are involved. One doing the design, the other one is doing the project management of it, helping us, and the technology part.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Amazing. That's the magic, making people and creating things.
Right, because you have so much. You live in a world of abundance.
And you learn a lot from them.
That's right.
And enjoy. Important is to preserve the good kind of mood of the company when you create it.
All the best.
And this is what I'm doing. So I have little time to do this kind of bad thing. No, but I have time.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Wow.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, Jesus. It's been a pleasure.
Good to see you. Always in very good shape.
Well, look, I'm trying to follow in your footsteps.
Can I take the challenge to go to
No, we're going to
set
the challenge. We're going to be doing it. We can do it easily. I want to thank all of you for watching this podcast. Make sure you subscribe, press like, and never forget, it's all unknown. Continue to reach for the stars, and you're too blessed to be stressed.